Hey there, fourth grade. This is Mr. Campbell. Today we're going to be working on page 97. This is going to be lesson 3.5. Use area models and partial products to multiply. So this is going to be another day of practicing what we covered the last lesson. All right. At the end of today, we want you to be able to say, I can use area models and partial products to multiply. Now remember, when we have an area model, all that means is that they are taking a number, breaking it into each of the place values, and then multiplying it by what's on the side. All right, let's actually take a look at this one right here because it says a horseshoe pit model below has an area of 228 square feet. The length of one part of the pit was erased by mistake. What is the length of the missing section? Solve any way you choose. So how could we solve this problem? Well, we know that this total in here is going to be 228 square feet, right? The whole thing is going to be that. Well, I need to figure out how many is in this part to figure out what's left of that. So I'm going to go ahead and take 6 times 3, and 6, 12, 18, but I've got that extra 0, so this is 180. All right. Well, if this is 180, I need to take that away from my total. So I had 228. I'm going to minus my 180. 8 minus 0 is 8. 2 minus 8, I can't do that. I need to regroup, which makes that into a 12. 12 minus 8 is 4. 1 minus 1 is 0. So that means in here is going to be 48. So then I need to ask, well, 6 times what will get me to 48? 6 times what will get me to 48? Think you know? 6 times 8 is 48. So the missing part was 8, right? That's what was missing. So this is going to be 8 feet up here. All right. Now, again, this is just kind of how we can use partial products and area model to solve different types of problems. Let's go ahead and turn to the next page, though, and we'll review those steps once again. So again, here we are on page 98, and it says, the Rails to Trails Preservation opened a new section of biking trail. This section is 6 yards wide. What is its area? Calculate 6 times 1,842. Now, yesterday, we were doing 2-digit and 3-digit multipliers over here. Now, today, we're going to add a little bit more to that, all right? And so we're going to go ahead and follow the same steps. It doesn't matter if we've got more numbers. We're going to still follow the same steps. So down here in box B, it says we're going to use the area model and partial product. So they've took our area model right here. They broke 1,842 into 1,840 and 2. All right. We're just breaking apart each of those different pieces. Once we do that, now we can start to multiply these together. And this can just be really helpful for us because as we're looking at this, it helps us to make sure we've done all the different parts. All right. So if we actually slide over to box B, they're going to take these numbers and actually multiply them out. So starting in our ones place, we've got 6 times 2, and 6 times 2 is 12. In our tens place, we had 40, so 6 times 40. And we talked before about I can cover up my 0 over here and say, what's 6 times 4? Well, 6 times 4 is 24, and then I can bring that 0 over as well. Next, I have 6 times 800, but I'm just going to focus on the 8. 6 times 8 is 48, and I need 2 zeros to move it to the correct place value. And then my last one is 6 times 1,000. Well, I'm going to ignore these extra zeros and say, what's 6 times 1? That's 1,000. Or 6 times 1 is 6, and I need 1,000, so I need 3 zeros. Then I can add this all up. 2 plus nothing is 2. 1 plus 4 is 5. 2 plus 8 is 10, plus 0 is still 10. So the 0 goes here, and we actually need to regroup our 1 over. 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 1 more is 11. So our answer would be 11,052 square yards. All right. And again, this is just to give us an example of a way that we can use the area model. All right. The important thing is making sure that we follow step by step. And as we go on to the next page, I'm going to grab a notebook so I've got a little bit extra room to work with. If you want to grab some paper as well, do that as we turn to page 99. Here we are on page 99. Like I said, I'm going to grab a notebook as we take a look at number 1. Now, what's super important during this is that you are actually practicing with me. Don't just sit there, okay? If you just sit there and wait for me to tell you the answer and you write that down, it's not going to help you to better understand. You've got to make sure that you're focusing in and saying, I need to learn how to solve these problems so that way when you have it on your own, you're ready to go. So let's take a look here. It says, what multiplication expression is shown by the area model? Well, if I want to write the expression first, I need to add the numbers on top. So I'm going to say, what's 400 plus 5? Well, that's 405. Plus 1,000 is 1,405. And what's tricky is there's no tens here. There's no 10 spots. It just goes straight down to the ones. So I need a 0 in my tens place. And what am I doing? Well, one way to think about this is a multiplication right here. 4 times 1,000, 4 times 400, 4 times 5. So when I write my numerical expression, it's going to look like this. 4 times 1,405. Well, now we're actually going to solve this problem, okay? So let's go ahead and figure these out. So in my first big box right here, I've got 4 times 1,000. And I know that because that's where these two come together. They cross right there. Next is going to be 4 times 400. So 4 times 400. And then my last one way over here is going to be 4 times 5. And I usually like to write it like that so that way I know I've got it off to the side. All right. Now I can go ahead and start to solve this problem. So I'm going to start with my ones place. So I've got 4 times 5. All right. What does 4 times 5 equal? Well, that equals 20. Right? Next up, I've got 4 times 400. All right, 4 times 400. Well, I see I need 2 zeros, so I'm going to start there, 0 and 0. And then 4 times 4 is 16. And look at that, 4 times 4 is 16, 2 zeros. All right, next I go to my thousands. So I've got 4 times 1,000. All right, and I say I need 1, 2, 3 zeros. So 1, 2, 3 zeros. And then I'm just going to ask, what's 4 times 1? Is 4. The last step is to add it all up. 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. 2 plus 0 plus 0 is 2. 6 plus 0 is 6. 1 plus 4 is 5. So my answer here is 5,620. All right, 5,620. And I like to circle it so my teacher can quickly see that's what I got. All right. Well, like I said, I need you practicing. So number 2 says they've already got their numerical expression. They've broken it up for us into 1,117 over here. They want us to use that partial model and partial products to multiply. So I'm going to have you pause your video right now. Try this one on your own. This is going to be the example that you actually get to do and then check your work. All right. So this is a good check for you. Pause the video and work on number 2. If you didn't pause your video, do it right now. All right. Do not let this go without you trying it out. And again, that's so important because this is your chance. This is your opportunity to really try this out. All right. So 5 is the thing that I'm going to be multiplying each of my place values by. So when I come up here, I'm going to say I'm going to have 5 times, and what's in my ones place? 5 times 7. All right. Well, 5 times 7 equals 35. All right. Now I'm going to go to my next place. So I'm going to say 5 times, what's in my tens place? Well, 5 times 10. All right. So 5 times 10. Well, there's a 0 here, so I'm going to start with that. And then 5 times 1 is 5. Okay. I go to my next place value, the hundreds place, and there's only, it's just another 100. So 5 times 100. I start off with my 2 zeros, so 0, 0. And then I say 5 times 1. What's 5 times 1? Well, it's a 5. All right. I go to my next place value. I did the ones, I did the tens, I did the hundreds. Now it's the thousands, and there's a 1 there. So 5 times 1,000. How many zeros do I need to start with? Well, I need to start with 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to say 5 times 1. Well, 5 times 1 is 5. Now that I've done all this, I can add it up. All right, let's do it. 5 plus zeros is 5. 3 plus 5 is 8, plus zeros is 8. 5 plus 0 is 5. And nothing plus 5 is 5. So our answer here is 5,585. If you did not get that, go back and check your work. What that means, find what mistake you made. Did you not line up your place values? Did you forget about your zeros when moving these place values around? Those are easy mistakes that could come up. You got to make sure that I do this the same way every time, because the same way helps me to make sure that I don't make small mistakes that'll lead me to the wrong answer. Well, today you've got 6 problems to do on your own. Number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. They're the same steps of what we just did. So if you're not sure, if you're unsure of how to solve these, go back and rewatch what we just did. Follow those same steps. Ones place, tens place, hundreds place, thousands place. Those are the steps to multiply these and then add them all up. Well, thanks so much for staying with me today and working hard. I hope you are ready to get going and show your teachers what you've been learning and how you've been practicing it. And we will see you next time. Have a good day.